it's Komori, and today we're going to be making Mew Ichigo's tail, complete with the little bell bow. For Ichigo's tail, we're going to start by cutting a rectangle out of some black fabric. I'm using black velvet because this is just a remnant that I had lying around and decided to use, but you could also use fleece or fake fur for her tail. Next, we're going to fold the tail piece in half. Going to trim the bottom end to a curve, then we're going to sew all along the edge, along the side, and we're going to leave the bottom open so that it can be turned right side out later on. Turn the tail right side out, then we're going to cut a piece of wire that is a little bit longer than the length of the tail, and we're going to twist the end so that the pokey end is not sticking out. Stuff the tail with some polyfill, and we're also going to insert that wire. Then twist the wire so that the pointy end is inward, and fold the edge of the tail over so that there are no raw edges exposed, and hand sew everything into place. For the bow, we're going to start by cutting a large rectangle out of some dark red satin. Then we're going to apply some fusible interfacing to the back of it. Fold the rectangle in half and sew it together along the long side. Turn the rectangle right side out and press it flat. Then we're going to zigzag along both of the ends to help keep them from fraying. And I have the seam up right now, so I'm going to flip it over so that we can put right sides together. Fold the rectangle in half. Oh, come on there. And we're going to sew it together along the side. For the bottom tail of the bow, we're going to cut another rectangle out of the red satin, apply the interfacing. Then we're going to fold it in half, and instead of sewing it along the top, we're going to sew it along the side, along the top, leave a space open, then continue on around the corner. Turn the rectangle right side out, and we're going to fold the edge over and sew across it to close the hole. To make the bow knot pieces, we're going to cut 2 rectangles out of the red satin. Then we're going to fold them in half and sew them together along the long side. Then turn them right side out, press them flat, and we're going to zigzag both of the edges to keep them from fraying. Wrap one of the rectangles around the tail and sew it into place. Then we're going to wrap the other rectangle around the bow pieces so that it looks like a knot. Hand sew the bow to the tail at the piece of satin so that it looks like it's wrapped around the tail. And I tried to sew the bell directly onto the bow, and because the bow is metal, the loop at the top of the bow, the metal was a little bit sharp and it kept cutting the thread. So I couldn't hand sew it on, so instead I just took a little tiny piece of ribbon that is the same color as the bow, wrapped it through the bell and through the knot piece of the bow, and tied it in place. Now we're going to cut a length of non-roll elastic, the length we want to go around the waist, so that we can attach the tail. Loop the elastic through the wire loop at the top of the tail, and sew the 2 edges together. And with that, Mew Ichigo's tail is done. For more tutorials on how to make the rest of the costume, please subscribe, and thank you very much for watching.